See someone over there. Not sure if they are friend or foe at this stage. Easier to see now, of course. That's him. That's him. Let's see. Before we chat. Anything else here we should know about? It doesn't really seem so. He's got, I mean, a little bit of a base to himself here. Like, certainly better conditions than the other people we saw could claim. He's got a little picnic table. A lot more room than those other people had. This is all for himself. Alright.
You're here. I knew a real squad would blow through just fine. Sorry if the mech scuffed your pads. I'll get you something nice when we get back to Alliance space. I've gotta have some back pay coming.
What about your crew, acting captain?
Total loss. The toxic food turned them wild. They propped me up
Is
here
that
in some
so
kind of
now?
ritual behavior. Waiting for a chance to signal has been hell.
That's the best you can do?
You let all your people talk back like that? Who are you exactly?
Some people call me Shepard. And, yeah, you might know that guy. I know it's been a while.
Shepard of the Normandy. I believe you're acquainted with Mr. Taylor.
Taylor? Jacob? No. Not Jacob.
Why not me? Would 10 years of this look better to anyone else in the galaxy?
You have to understand, this isn't me. The realities of command, they change you. I wasn't ready for that. I made sure you were taught right. Before I left, I hoped to leave it at that.
A decade? You were gone for quite some time, and then, as we were saying, you waited a very, very long time, even after you set up that beacon, before you actually tried to send out a distress signal. Why?
I'm not unreasonable, Captain, but 10 years? What happened?
God damn it. Why did you do this to your crew?
There was resistance to the plan. Mutiny. We had to take a hard line to keep order. And things settled down. As the decay set in, we made sure the crew were comfortable. Some even seemed happier. Ignorance is bliss, right? And they were grateful for guidance, like an instinct. Pure authority was easy, at first. Months in, the effect lowered inhibitions. They got territorial. Rank, protocol, they couldn't understand. We had to establish dominance. After a while, the perks seemed normal.
That's it? You created a harem and played king? 10 years in a juvenile fantasy?
I can't point to where it all went wrong. But when the beacon was ready, revealing what happened didn't seem like a good idea.
Hold on. Lots of questions. Lots of questions. Well, we heard that you and the other officers built, or at least repaired that beacon, and then soon thereafter, they died.
What happened to the other officers?
Anders found his conscience a little late to step back. He had an accident. Things got tense. End of the day, I was the one with the mechs. I got a little basic in setting examples. But I was kind to my people once things settled down. Seemed like I'd earned some peace.
That's
Fought
not
over
what we
people like
heard.
They were toys. Things.
Yeah. And then we heard that you deliberately fed all of your crew the poisonous or contaminated, however you want to refer to it, local food, and then you saved all of your own food supply from the ship for yourself.
The stores from the ship couldn't last forever. You had to know this would end one day.
Dining for one can really stretch things out. Besides, I can think of a lot worse retirement plans than stripping down and joining the droolers. That was before the hunters, of course. Dumb or not, I'd feel it if they got their hands on me now. They want blood. I'd prefer to keep it.
It's all about you. Everything.
It didn't sound good when we got here, and I'm afraid it's not sounding much better now that we're hearing straight from the source.
You didn't feel any responsibility to get out of here for the sake of family?
I gave him a good start. He was a smart kid and was better off not following me. We figured that out a long time before I took jobs in deep space. And after things escalated here, it seemed best to just disappear off the galactic map.
Till you needed someone to save your ass.
Yeah, so was it only once you actually started to run out of that food supply where you thought, okay, perhaps my time here is up in this twisted power fantasy world that I'm living in, and I actually do need someone to rescue me, otherwise I'm gonna have to join those other people in their crazy lunacy, because I'm gonna be forced to eat the local food as well. But maybe we can still make up for some of this?
We can help these people. Cerberus can have ships here in days and pull everyone out.
He's not worth the fuel to haul him out or the air he's breathing. He's damn lucky I don't think he's even worth pulling the trigger. I don't know who you are, because you're not any father I remember.
Ooh, okay, well now it looks as though we have some options. He can't escape the law now, suggests that perhaps we turn him in, get him arrested for the crimes, or at least, get him tried for the crimes he appears to have committed. Then, alternatively, we could leave him here and force him to be stuck in this world that he created, and as we were just saying, I think that he has, in truth, had a bit of a dose of reality set in here where he's realized this truthfully cannot last forever, because supplies may be running quite short at this stage, and then he's not going to be the powerful leader is maybe a strong way to describe him. Power, yes, but leader, perhaps not. But he's gonna have to become mindless like the rest of them. Or we could just say, you know what, Jacob, maybe you should shoot him after all. And tempting as some of these things might seem, he has made his bed. Now time for him to lay in it. Yes, I understand. But at the same time, it's still best, I think, if we let the law do the talking.
We'll secure him for an alliance court. For every year here, he'll have 10 to think about it.
Give him all the time in the galaxy. The man who did this doesn't know right from wrong.
I'm sorry, Jacob. I did the best I could.
I'm 10 years past believing that.
And there we go. Mission complete. Mission summary. Survivors from AEA are being treated by Alliance personnel with additional Cerberus support. It is a little bit surprising to see that Cerberus and Alliance in that case are kind of working together. Pleased to see Taylor unharmed psychologically by experience. Which Taylor are you referring to in this case? Jacob Taylor has dealt with his father and is now focused solely on the mission. So we get 750 experience. I think we had something like 760 that we needed to level up, so we are on the verge of getting a level. Jacob's bonus power is now unlocked. Barrier creates a shield that soaks huge amounts of damage, similar to the fortification ability that we see on Grunt. Has a new alternative outfit. And we got the heavy pistol damage. That should be useful. That will give 40% heavy pistol damage for the entire squad. I mean, we do use the heavy pistol every now and again. It is, as we were just saying, probably still our best long-range weapon. Then in terms of credits, look like we got everything there, so that's good, and got some ESO as well.
Alliance ships are inbound to secure Captain Taylor and his crew, Commander. We'll be long gone by the time they get here.
Okay, well done.
Don't even give him the taillights.
Roger that.
What do you mean it wasn't you?
Jacob, if I had leaked the information about the Gernsback, I would be smiling at your resolution of the situation. I am not smiling.
This is interesting. We usually only see the elusive man in a situation like this. Oh man, strobe effect. We usually only see the elusive man like this in this sort of this Zoom call if we are doing one of the main quest missions. But this is the only time I think we've ever seen it for one of the loyalty missions, which are technically, although important, optional. So Elusive Man is trying to suggest that he was not the one that leaked the signal. Of course, we've seen him do things like that in the past, where he's played mind games with us, trying to... Okay, well, except I've got to do this, because this is just making me lose my mind.
Ship, without a report to you.
I had no more reason to believe Jacob's father was alive than he did, but I'm happy to know the situation is behind you.
Fine. You didn't
Why so blinky?
Who did?
Man.
I did.
What? So, again, as I was starting to say, the question was, how did we get that information about the Gurns back? There were questions as to whether it might have been the Elusive Man, because he's done that kind of thing before. That's sort of what he did with Horizon, where we heard that the Collectors were expected to attack this human colony, but we didn't really know why we knew that until afterward, when it turns out that apparently the Elusive Man had kind of baited the Collectors into attacking that colony, and that was the only reason why we could get there in time to intervene. So it seemed like perhaps this was something kind of like that, where the Elusive Man might have been behind it all, but no, Miranda says that she did it.
Figures. Who else could get into Cerberus channels?
It was hardly classified, just obscure. There was a time when it mattered to you. Sending this along seemed like keeping an old promise. I keep my promises.
Miranda, we'll discuss your liberal interpretation of security protocol in private. Shepard, Jacob.
Phew. Yeah, you alright after all that, Jacob? That's a lot.
You good with this, Jacob?
It's all bull, Shepard. Captain Taylor can rot in prison. Doesn't change who I am or what I know. I've already mourned the man he used to be. I guess he was a good enough father that even he can't screw up what he taught me.
Surprised about Miranda apparently being the one that... I mean, I suppose it sounds like she was doing it with good intentions. She heard about the Gurns back, knew that it was... I assume knew that it was the ship that Jacob's father was on, and figured it would be worth sending that information to us in hopes of giving Jacob the chance to perhaps find his father. Of course, no way I think she would have known the situation in which he found himself in.
You had no idea Miranda was behind this?
No, she's got a good memory. Selective, but good. I haven't thought about those days in a long time. Can't figure which promise she meant, though. Not sure I really want to know. She requires a better man than I.
Oh, okay. Trying to suggest that was potentially going to be a thing between the two of you, but that is not of interest. Alright, well then, in that case...
Come on, we've got work to do.
Aye, Commander. Shepard, thanks for the help.
One time only. Nah, you're welcome.
Anytime, Jacob.
Alright, we got some Paragon points there from that conversation. The heavy pistol damage. Let's take a look. Over here. At that... Ooh. Boss Palladium, that is the resource that we are certainly the lowest on. What we need for the pistol damage, it's what we need for, I think it was one of the ship enhancements as well. Yeah, this one's quite expensive. So, I don't know. And we'll see. It's not urgent. Not completely urgent at this point that we get enough for that stuff, but we are starting to get to the point where we might run out of time for it. See if Jacob has anything else to say after having finished his loyalty mission, of course.
Thanks for diverting to the Gurns back, Shepard. I appreciate being able to clean up that mess. And don't worry, it will not affect how I do my job. It's over.
Okay, so obviously, what with that being the first loyalty mission that we learned about, it has been a long time since we talked to Jacob about anything other than that.
I'm interested in getting to know you better.
Already? I'm not big on forcing these talks, Shepard. Let's do this later.
Really? Okay, I mean, maybe. That was because it had... we might have done enough of that earlier on that he doesn't have anything else to say in that regard, but what about the crew? How are things going in that sense, do you think?
What do you think of the state of the crew?
Yeah, unless all distractions are removed, loyalty to the mission will suffer. Run this team through hell, and all we're getting is burned. Anything else, Commander?
Okay.
We'll talk later.
That's all.
Commander.
But that is perhaps a reality check when it comes to how we're doing from a loyalty mission standpoint, and we are almost done with all of our loyalty missions here. Of course, having just finished Jacob's, so I'm not sure we really looked at many of these after the fact. Let's see, Jacob, the Gift of Greatness. The fate of Ronald Taylor is on the books. Jacob refuses to let the man's crimes affect his feelings, the good man who was once his father. So, you know, the past is in the past. I suppose we can reflect upon the previous loyalty missions as well. Miranda, remember that was with rescuing her sister from her father. Miranda chose to speak to her sister despite fears that Oriana might be in danger if she learned about her real family. Oriana is now safely behind her father's reach. We might have read that one. For Thane's, his was... rescuing, or, well, preventing his son from taking up a life of being an assassin as well. Thane has agreed to join... Oh, that's recruiting him. That's different. Poyat was stopped before he could complete his contract, and Thane was able to begin reconnecting with his son, so that's good to hear. Grunt was, of course, his rite of passage, in which we fought a bunch of stuffs, including none other than, a Thresher Maw. Grunt completed the rite of passage by killing a Thresher Maw. He's now an accepted member of Clan Erdnot. And... Erdnot Rex remains a friend and ally. He can provide information regarding missions in the area. I did not realize that this was listed as a quest, but okay. Bar the Art at Yakshi, this was, of course, talking to Morinth, and either allowing Samara to kill Morinth or allowing Morinth to kill Samara. Samara ended the threat of her daughter Morinth. Garrus tracking down Sidonis, the guy who had betrayed his team on Omega, and we chose to let Sidonis live, and upon seeing Sidonis' self-inflicted suffering, Garrus was finally able to come to terms with the deaths of his men. Morden was, yes, Malin, his old protege, and Malin was doing some unethical research, although it was for trying to work on the genophage and finding perhaps a cure for that. Malin was working voluntarily with Clan Weirlock on a cure for the genophage. Convinced of the danger such a cure could pose to the galaxy, Morden shut down his former protege's experiments and made sure the research data would not fall into the wrong hands. Although we did save that research. Jax was, of course, to destroy the facility, Cerberus-run facility, where she was raised is maybe a strong word. Imprisoned is maybe a more accurate term. Jack destroyed the facility on Pragia and spared the life of the other survivor. The experience has helped her make peace with her brutal past, to a certain extent at least. Then I suppose that's just about it. Now we just have stopping the collectors, which at the moment means going in to try to get this Reaper IFF, which, as I've said before, and I will repeat again, wait as long as possible before you do this. Possibly the most important, almost certainly the most important advice I can give you in the entire game. That means now is probably a good time for us to shift back over to doing some of these side missions here. Like, what was the one that was relatively close by? I think was one of these, right? So we might head there in just a minute. Let's see if Joker has anything to say before we get distracted with other things. Oh, Joker. Hello there.
That stuff with Jacob's dad, it's bullshit, right? Because it looked like bullshit to me.
See, I'm afraid that stuff did actually happen.
That's it for now.
See you, Commander.
Okay. So, see, I don't recall as whether Kelly has told us if we have any messages. or anything like that. Kelly?
How may I help you, Commander?
Do you have a moment to talk?
I always have time for you, Commander.
Except,
I better go.
Okay. Maybe we'll talk later.
Maybe.
How may I help
Like,
you,
how's the
Commander?
crew?
Is there anything I should know?
Nothing right now. Anything else, Commander?
Okay.
That'll be all.
I'll be here if you...
Because, of course, we know of all the loyalty missions, and we've now completed most of them. For team status, we see Jacob is now loyal. That means, as we were saying before, he has now gained his barrier ability, which will help give him a little more tankiness, similar to Grunt's fortification ability. Let's see. So, we have done all the exploration in the Alpha Draconis system, everything in the Phi Clio system, but Enoch, we did not explore it in its entirety, and there was a mission here that we have not yet done. So I think the plan was to head back over here and check out the remaining planets and check out this quest. So let's see. That's where it is, but before we do that, let's just see what the deal is on these planets. So Mizraim, a small gas giant, Mizraim is primarily hydrogen and methane around a rocky core. There's no remaining trace of civilization from Joab on Mizraim itself, but debris orbiting the planet indicates that artificial satellites were once in place before being destroyed. Moderate here and no anomalies, so don't think we need to concern ourselves too much with scanning that. As for the innermost planet, Laban is a desert world with sea upon sea of scorching hot iron oxide wearing away marbleized cliffs. Its atmosphere is thick and layered with significant levels of oxygen trapped under an upper helium layer. Initially, surveyors detected traces of iridium from orbit, only to find a surprising archaeological discovery. Iridium came from bunkers on the surface, blown apart by a Dreadnought-class weapon. Ooh. Logical conclusion was that civilization on Joab had reached Laban, and its outposts here were destroyed to make their extermination complete. So someone came here and got rid of whoever it was who was living on Joab and decided, hey, if they're living on Laban as well, then we should get rid of them here too. So what was it? Was it iridium they were saying that they could see from orbit? So presumably that means there's a lot of iridium here. I mean, we've seen more than that pass, though. That's not that amazing. Kind of waiting to see something that is absolutely scale-breaking on the iridium side of things. There's EZO here as well. That's a little surprising. Not a bad amount either. I don't know. That might even be the same sorts of palladium we were seeing previously. In which case, it's awfully generous to call this a rich planet. I don't know. I mean, obviously we don't need to actually launch any probes there. Primary thing we're looking for is this investigate dig site. Before we do anything there, just take a look first at what this is. Archaeological dig site. Scans indicate that an archaeological dig site on planet Joab has been invaded by Blue Sun's mercenaries. Prothean signature has been detected inside the dig site. Investigate the dig site on the planet. Okay. Sure. Okay, so in that case, let us land. Okay, so for this mission, we have reason to suspect Blue Suns. So that would mean probably humans? Although they do oftentimes come with squads of mechs as well. But they tend to be, of the three mercenary groups, the most shield-oriented of those three. That means we're probably looking for someone who is sort of an anti-shield specialist. At least one person to fit that description. In which case, of course, our initial anti-shield person was Zaid. We used him very aggressively early on, but haven't used him much as of late. Partially because of that, wanted to give other people the chance to shine, such as Garrus. That could be another anti-shield person. Miranda, of course, being another anti-shield person, but No, I don't think we need any excuses to be using her. Likewise with Kasumi, love using her, but at the same time, we used her almost every mission as soon as we got her. So maybe we try to find a different option here instead. I'm thinking, I mean, you don't really have anything that's anti-shield, or rather, yeah, nothing anti-shields. I think we probably are looking at Garrus in that case as our newest anti-shields person. And then, I mean, it has been a while since we used Kasumi. Especially since Miranda, as I said, we used her very aggressively early on, but we did, and then we deliberately didn't use her for a very long time because we knew that she was always our safety net back then, and we wanted to give other people a little bit of opportunity to actually play them. But Kasumi, we did Miranda's loyalty mission, however, somewhat recently, so we at least did that with her. Whereas Kasumi, we obviously did her loyalty mission way back. So I think for that reason, maybe we take her. Okay, so for Garrus, I think we're looking to put your remaining points into armor-piercing rounds. Now, we don't have enough points to actually make this upgrade at the moment, so that'll have to do. And yeah, Kasumi has 5 points, so definitely can spend something here. The question is, do we go fully upgraded overload or fully upgraded passive? Fully upgraded overload means we could go either heavy or area, whereas flashbang, well, no, I think flashbang grenade will probably keep at level 1. Master Thief, we can either go reduce recharge time of her powers, which is very nice for something like Shadow Strike, which is the highest base damage ability in the game. So doing that more often is pretty sweet. It can basically just one-shot at least basic enemies. Then the alternative would be weapon damage. I think we'd definitely be going for the power recharge in that case. So for the most part, when it comes to recharge times, we're looking at 6% increase. That's not that much, is the thing. Not that much of a difference. Whereas I feel like we'd probably experience a bigger difference if we went with an upgraded overload, because we can either greatly increase the damage, or we can take the area option, which means we can hit, I mean, technically it is possible to hit multiple enemies with even a level 1, 2, or 3 overload, because it does still have an impact radius of 1.2 meters. I mean, not the easiest thing to get multiple people in that case, but think overload? Think overload. But what I'm wondering is, let's see, difference between heavy and area. Heavy, they actually, synthetic enemies explode on death, which is interesting. But that's, I think, mostly just a minor add-on. The key thing is that it is 40 extra damage. That's pretty significant. It's a pretty big difference. Whereas the radius more than doubles for area overload. As I was saying, 1.2 is... it's possible to hit multiple people, but for the most part, you're just relying on that being a single target, or you can't bet on it being anything more than single target, whereas 3 meters is pretty solid. My question here is, usually I do prefer area. However, Kasumi has such huge single target damage with Shadow Strike. Does that mean you turn her into a single target specialist and just have all of her abilities deal tons of damage to one specific, or in this case, maybe 2 enemies? Or do you say, okay, Shadow Strike is designed specifically for single target damage, but Overload, you know, maybe we cover for her weakness here, give her a little bit more of a crowd control-like ability. Not that that's really what Overload does. I mean, she still has Flashbang Grenade. Yeah. I think you still use Flashbang Grenade for AoE crowd control for her, and that's just generally not her skill set, not her strength, so I think you go heavy, actually. You do go heavy. What is the radius on Flashbang Grenade? That's 6 meters. Yeah. Yeah. So I think you stick with that, then. And yes, we do need 10 experience level. So, no, we don't have any more points to work with other than the ones we just spent there. So, okay. In terms of weapons here, I'm curious to stick with the Phalanx a little bit more. I think it's, as we were saying, since it's slower but heavier damage, or better single shot damage than the Carnifex, but it has better accuracy and has that laser sight. If we're actually aiming down the scope, then that could be a good way to make up for the fact that we don't have a shotgun, or rather don't have a sniper rifle. We don't really have any long-range weapons. Matic is the closest thing we have to it, so yeah, Phalanx can make up for that a bit. So I like that. I think we'll just keep the Avalanche. It's a safe choice. Yeah. I think we'll stick with this for Garrus. Kasumi, Carnifex, Phalanx. Sure, we'll keep you on the Carnifex. Why not? In Tempest, I'm going to give you the Locust just because it is the weapon that we got from your loyalty mission, so I feel like we are contractually obligated to do that. Think we found the Blue Suns. Alright, let's load up on ammo here as quickly as possible, because it does seem as though they already know we're here. Oh, we were already on that. Here come the friends, and they seem to be kind of stuck. That spot there. A little bit. Now here's a little thing you can do here. We should have saved before we did this. I'm gonna do it anyway. So there's a lot of people coming through the door here. And including what? Blue Sun's Trooper, or Legionnaire, Trooper. So let's just have, I mean, assuming we can't actually hit these guys through this, otherwise we're gonna hit that wall, but it's gonna say, in order to prevent people from coming through that door, you may be able to rush them. Like, obviously they were just hanging out there for a long time, and I was kind of making a conscious effort, or living with using our ammo effect rather than charging them with our biotic charge ability as Vanguard, because you may be able to charge them and prevent some of those enemies from spawning in there if you act quickly. That guy's going in for the flank. That's not cool. But yeah, they may all be here now at this point, so that may be a moot point now. If we can, you guys have shields. That's no good for us. That means you guys better for our teammates to deal with. You guys still trying to flank Garrus? He is. I would like if you didn't do that. Meanwhile, Revis just tearing these guys apart. Oh. Oh, surprise. Give me a minute here. Yeah, I see more people. That's at least one trooper that just came through. Assuming if you could just Shadow Strike that guy. Garrus, if you could blast those guys. Yeah, so like, it might even be worth... No, not pull. Charge. Okay, hold on. Hey, guys. So now that we're in here, I don't think any more will spawn, because as you just saw, more of them started to come out. But, I don't know. Could be mistaken. I suppose I could be mistaken. I hope I'm not, though. Let's see. Did we take that guy out with that shot? I think we did. This is how we're seeing at the moment. Suppose that is currently the most dangerous of individuals. Someone else over here? That's Kasumi. Oh, Kasumi, I don't really think they're on the right weapon for this situation right now. Aren't you? Just because your shields are down? I believe that was Shepard saying switch weapons, because we told Kasumi to switch weapons right as we were going into our biotic charge. And because we have a bit of a slow-mo effect when we did that, it was this ridiculous switch weapon sound. It was not expected. Oh, that's not good. This guy is still shooting us. And now, I would like to charge you. Thank you. Ooh, still, the damages. Oh, okay, never mind. Don't need to shoot him. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. So yeah, obviously we didn't really charge much at all until we actually had most of the enemies out here. And so, for that reason, we may not have limited the extent to which they spawned in here. Chance that was still every enemy that we face, but you can, I think you can potentially limit the number of enemies that spawn in if you do that earlier on. Obviously, it comes with a risk, because you don't necessarily know if you're going to be able to survive taking those kinds of hits, but that's the risk you take. So it works with charge, or if in fact that is the case, and I'm not making a misstatement there, and it would work with biotic charge. And the other thing that tends to be good for doing that would be a drone for engineers, or I think you can still do it with Tally. Okay, so we picked up a couple of sources of Ezo there. I don't think there's anything else out here, or at least not seeing it here at the moment. That was a pretty sizable chunk of Ezo at that for just a small side mission here. So let's head on in, and I suppose not really expecting to get much more in that regard. We are going to lose our charge here as we save, but so be it. Okay. Okay, let's see. Oh, we got friends. Okay. We've got a trooper. Remember, Kasumi is fit more for single target damage, whereas, yeah, Garrus has area overload. So, across the board, Kasumi is the person we go for when we're trying to take out one enemy by themselves. I do like where Garrus is right now. I do not like where Kasumi is right now. You could like. I'm not really sure there's enough room here. You got it. Where we are. And certainly not without seriously obstructing our view. Just leave that dude. I did not want to get out of cover. You guys are getting a little closer than I'd like them to be getting right now. Garrus, did you just die? You're standing in cover and you just chose not to actually use it.
Now you see me.
These guys are flanking big time. Can we go back through this door? I'm not sure that we can. That's gonna cause some problems. There's a lot of them. Wow. Alright, Kasumi, if you could actually be in cover. Do not on cover, in cover. Important distinction. Very important distinction, in fact. If you could Shadow Strike this dude, that might fix that situation. Excuse me. Thank you. More coming through. I'm afraid that is more coming through. This might be another situation of, technically speaking, if we can charge them, then it would work better. It's a pretty big risk in this case, given how we don't have Garrus anymore. Assume he's still on cooldown. Oh, I did not see you. Hello. There's also an explosive container right next to us, which makes me a little hesitant to charge you. Probably would be... Oh, there's more guys up there. That's not good. I think we charge you to get shields back. Let's have... Sumi's off on cooldown right now. Can't do anything at the moment. But that didn't hit you? And we are about to die, which is concerning. I would charge this guy if it did not entail that all exploding on us. I'd say, what if we try shadow striking you, we charge you, and we hope that we can still do that? No, we can't. No, we can't. Yeah, it was very, very sloppy. Very, very sloppy. I mean, the charging against those guys coming through the door was intended, but still, I knew it was a risk, and it was probably not really a risk worth taking. Okay, so this was an autosave that takes us right here. Sumi is apparently just immediately cloaking. Yeah, we lost Garrus, like, immediately. I'm gonna send Garrus there. I know eventually there are gonna be some people that are gonna be flanking pretty hard there. Where did Sumi go for that? Oh, she went way over there. That guy's down. Are there people coming from here? There might be. Okay, so now I might have Garrus overload them and charge these guys again in hopes of trying to stop them from coming through here. Doing this earlier this time. Once again. Missing the shot. Okay, we are just so dead right now. Missing the shotgun shots from point blank, needless to say, is not a good thing, especially because we are about to die. So maybe we don't charge. Maybe we don't charge there. Maybe we hit our shotgun shots, and then we could just barely manage to do so. But it's not working terribly well for us with it. So maybe we just keep it simple and say no to the charge. And we'll just, you know, we'll deal with them one at a, or the usual way. Why is that guy didn't get staggered more? Garrus, I mean, I guess that works. Is a lot of them over there. We did land what seemed to be some pretty decent shots there with the shotgun. So I do like that. I wish I could hit the middle guy over you, but it does not want to target that right now. We only got 2 rather than the full 3 we would have liked. Not sure who Kasumi is going for. Kind of like to see before I commit one of Garrus' skills. Then again, Garrus just used his skill. Just finish you off because you're kind of in dangerous flanking position.
One less to worry about.
It's not quite fully charged. It's definitely the difference between taking him out and not, but the Ryu should finish. Nice to get AoE on all of you guys. Yeah, see, when we don't have a squad mate that immediately dies, it does work considerably better. Imagine that. That guy was kind of hilarious. Is that the explosive crate that we ended up destroying? It might have been. There is one over there, and we did use overload, so that might have hit it. Let's see. We can pull if we really want to, but I think we'll just finish you off that way with the damage more directly. Shadow Strike feels unnecessary here. Now we've got the guys up here. May warrant a little bit more of a precise weapon. Let's see if we can do some work here with the phalanx. Hey guys, don't mind me. Ew. Not my best shot.
Now you see me.
That'll work too. Sure you need cover? I think that was the last of them. So yeah, I think we just made life way more difficult for ourselves than it had to be. The first time was unlucky in that Garrus had a bit of a death wish. We've got a computer terminal over here. Before we access that, let's see what's over here. Seemingly nothing in here. There were enemies coming through here previously. That goes up. Alright, let's check it out. Outgoing message, request for aid. Commander Santiago. Remember, we knew of Vito Santiago, the other person besides Zaid who co-founded the Blue Suns. Hope you are doing well. We require your services once again in the transport of ourselves, our equipment, and our recovered artifacts. I've dispatched our representative to meet with you regarding the details of the transaction. Given the sensitive nature of our cargo, we expect discretion in this matter. Dr. Farron, Chief Researcher, Exogeny, Special Projects. Exogeny? You may recognize that name. That is, of course, the company from Mass Effect 1 that we saw on Pharos that was doing the, pretty unethical experiments on the colonists with the Thorian. Then we also have incoming message, let's make a deal. Dr. Farron, of course, you can count on us to offer you escort and transportation. We've sent men and ships your way in good faith. Commander Vito Santiago, Co-Executive Officer, Blue Suns. Well, I suppose it might have been interesting to bring Zaid in that case. Don't think you'd have anything specific to say in response to that, but... What's this? Pretty sure this just is connecting with that spot we saw previously. More locker. More monies. I was gonna say, that explosive container made me suspicious of additional enemies, but there were some that were up here previously, so I suppose it makes sense for that reason. Not necessarily a sign that we're about to get ambushed. There may still be more enemies. I think there are. What do we have? Blue Sun's Trooper. We overload and then proceed to Shadow. I mean, Shadow Strike. Probably overkill at that point. Okay. Oh, that was, mind you, destructible cover. Oh. Well, there's the commander. He's got shields. He's got armor. He's got everything. Okay, now he's down to armor. Let's Shadow Strike him and reave him.
Can't do that right now.
But you can't do it right now? Excuse me, Kasumi? Can you do it now?
Can't get there.
You can't get there. How could you?
Firing a high impact shot.
Well, he's dead. And this guy's just chilling. Can you Shadow Strike this guy? Curious if this will one-shot him. Very close to it, but not quite. That's okay. We can read. Still more up there with Garrus, though. Okay, I'm sorry, Garrus. I kind of thought we were done here. But apparently we are not. I was going to say, I mean, you can't just have that guy hanging out right next to the explosive container and not blow up the explosive container. Except we still haven't done so. Oh, did it hit him? I think it did. I think it did. That was Lieutenant Locke, okay? So that was not just a normal enemy at that. That was a more powerful enemy. Okay, and maybe we do focus on Lieutenant Locke here, just because he does already have shields down. And we did just hit him with the super stun effect on Reeve. Oh, there's another guy back there. Hey, Kasumi. I mean, this is gonna be overkill as well. Pretty sure he died before Kasumi got there. Interesting strategy there, Kasumi. Alright, so let's see. Other stuff in here. Mostly just seeing ammo on this side, it seems. But other than that, we've got a PDA, we've got more EZO. Lieutenant Locke, once the artifact is secured and in transit, your orders are to take your men and rendezvous with Captain Voorhis aboard the MSV Strontium Mule in the Arnlocken system in the Omega Nebula. Assist Voorhis with the capture if needed. Commander Santiago. That gives us a new journal upgrade. Recapture derelict ship. Recapture the MSV Strontium. Okay. Definitely take a look at that later on. I believe that's now everything here. I feel like we might have missed an EZO, perhaps on the exterior, but we shall see. Whoa, okay. We've got a Prothean video log that we can scan. Before we do that, let's just see if there's anything else in here. I mean, we saw pyramids like this on several occasions when we were just exploring random uncharted worlds in Mass Effect 1. And we did, occasionally. Oh, climb up them, but we can't do that here? So sad. So sad. Alright, in that case, I suppose we'll scan it. And that looks very similar to the visions we saw in Mass Effect 1 from the Prothean beacons. That time, that looked like a collector. Alright, so 125 experience. It wasn't up to level up. We're now at level 29. And we gained a squad point from that. Recovered Prothean relic. Eliminated Blue Sun's presence at dig site. We got 3,750 credits and found that, so 7,500 total. The EZO, okay, we got 500. That seems like that's probably the maximum amount, given how it's a relatively round number.